And today, Happy Valentine's Day, by the way.
Happy Valentine's Day, Jay.
So thank you. And any special plan? I mean, we should be introducing you first, but let's get into this part. How
Right.
is Valentine? What's your big plans, you and your Valentine tonight?
We're supposed to go to San Diego actually tomorrow morning. It's the first Saturday I'm taking off tax season, so it should be a nice one.
Yeah, it should be nice day. Are you
Yeah.
driving or taking the train?
No, we're probably gonna drive and stay out there for the weekend. Probably go hiking, and then we want to do like dinner on a boat, and we'll see what we do.
Oh, I did that dinner on the boat a while ago.
Oh, really?
Oh,
How was
yeah.
that?
It was just about, I don't know, 35 years ago. It was good. What are you laughing at? You
It
weren't
was
born
just like
yet, but
yesterday. It was just like yesterday.
you know what? You'd be surprised when you get this old. Sometimes it seems like just yesterday.
Uh-huh.
So I said that what was that I said? Boy, yeah, I'm old. I don't even remember what I said a few minutes ago about the stupid Cupid. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry. I was setting up.
Oh, you should know. I know. That's all right. You listen to the first part again another time. But I
Right.
was talking. San Diego has this thing. Stupid Cupid Valentine's Day events in San Diego is going to be an event called Mortified, which
Huh.
is an extravaganza where people celebrate and commiserate with stories of past bad Valentine's days.
Oh,
So,
wow. Wow.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, let's get straight to you while we can. Is that Pops behind you there?
that's my dad, Elias. Hence
Why,
the name Elias
why
Income
don't you
Tax.
have him come over and say hello?
Dad, do you want to say hello? That's my dad, Elias Income Tax. So that's
Hi.
the owner of the
Uh,
company. Yeah.
Happy Valentine.
Yeah, you got some good employees there, by the way.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So go ahead and finish telling us, Laurie, about the company and you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so our company name is Elias Income Tax. We're both enrolled agents and we service, although we're based out of Orange County. And sorry, there's going to be a lot of background noise because, as you know, it's tax season. So it's a little
Yes.
but we're both enrolled agents based out of Orange County. However, we do service all 50 states. I'm admitted to practice before the IRS. So I can handle anything from IRS audits, collections, individual and business tax returns, as well as corporate. My website is eliasincometax.com. And for anybody that's listening, they could go onto our website, click on the contact us page, and you can send us an email there with any of your information, questions, concerns. And our phone number is 714-773-4000. Again, 714-773-4000.
Very good. Now, what, other than your favorite horror movie since we spoke last, uh, what is there that we need to be concentrating now on the taxes? Or do you have anything a little bit different or another angle or anything about this tax season?
This tax season, yeah, there are a few things actually. One of them is actually, so one of the things I want to talk about is the 2019 common mistakes or things to look at before you file your taxes. So the mortgage insurance premium, or otherwise known as PMI, I'm sure you're familiar with it. Um,
Yeah.
that's now tax deductible. It was eliminated last year, but they did. You can claim it now and even do your amended return retroactively for 2018 and claim it.
Wow, that is a big thing.
Yeah, because honestly, a lot of people, that especially for new people that just purchased a home, they have, the PMI and it's thousands of dollars sometimes. And that's a deduction they used to be missing. So now they could claim it.
Yeah. Well, I'm so old. I remember when it was.
Well, that
Yeah.
was just 2 years ago that they
No,
stopped
no,
it.
long ago it came and went. But I am so old. I remember when credit card interest was deductible.
You know what? I've only heard the rumors,
Oh
but
yeah, that's
supposedly.
you've heard about cavemen and things like that too.
Right. So yeah, that used to be. It's funny that I'm like now thinking about it. I've never even heard of it. I've been doing this for over 10 years, and I ain't never heard of credit card interest. Only rumors, but
Oh, I think it's
um,
a lot longer ago than 10 years, but we can check on that. Yeah.
yeah. So that's now deductible, which is great. Another thing that I'm noticing with people claiming on their taxes is their student kid, like their student between 19 and 23, college student. For whatever reason, the college student is claiming or doing his own taxes. However, they're living at home still, maybe only making a few $1,000s. So, what is happening is that the parent is losing out on either head of household or the dependent credit plus the tuition expenses.
I was going to
Uh,
say, how much of that college cost is actually deductible?
Up to $2,500. So, which is a
A
big,
unit?
no, not unit, just overall.
Because you know what it costs to go to
Oh,
college.
yeah. I mean, it's a fraction. If we're talking about college expenses, yeah, most college kids are spending now between 20, 40, $50,000 a year. But yeah, as far as reimbursement, it's $2,500 with the American Opportunity Tax Credit. But I always suggest to parents to always make sure that their student or their child that lives at home to bring them their W-2s at the same time that they
Yeah.
file. Because what happens is that sometimes the student files and they only make a couple $1,000s altogether, so they're missing out on the max benefits from the
You know,
tuition.
I should get you hooked up with another repeat offender on this show. I was saying earlier that nobody appears on the show more than you or Chris Bissonette, and what he does is save people money on tuition.
Oh, okay.
So, it might be a good connection for both of you.
Yeah,
Now,
definitely.
now, here's another thing you read about in the history books. When I went to Cal State, I started going to the junior college in Fullerton, and they kicked me out.
Oh.
I didn't last more than a week and a half or so.
Uh-huh.
So I started up at Cal State Fullerton, which was a pretty good fit,
Right.
and $700 not a unit, a semester.
Oh, wow.
$700 a semester.
Wow.
And I thought that was a lot.
Wow.
Well, it's more then than it is now, but it's nothing by
Oh,
comparison.
no, not at all. Even when I went to UC Riverside, I graduated from UC Riverside in 2003. My quarter, because UCs go by quarters. The quarter semester was only like 1,300, like 1,400 a quarter. So
Wow, that's not bad at all.
that's not bad at all. But
That's like a full load, yeah.
yeah, that was nothing. And then that's obviously plus books, which books were even a bit expensive back then. But I mean, it's nothing compared to what it is now.
Yeah.
That was about 20 years ago.
And of course, my just one look at me, and for sure I didn't get any sports deals. I didn't get any scholarships for sports, did I?
We've talked about this. Your listeners don't know what you look like.
Yeah, they do. If they're watching, they do.
If they're watching, they do. But not listening, not by the sound of your voice.
Yeah, I do have a wide angle lens here. So, okay. So, yeah, that's good. Don't let college age kids do their own. Talk to you first. There may be a situation when it is better for them to do that.
Right.
But usually not. And you need to know.
Right. And especially, it might be better because sometimes the parent has a tax liability. That's one reason why the student might want to, and maybe the student makes, enough income to support himself, perhaps maybe 10, 12,000, maybe renting at a dorm, whatever, with student loans. He might be better off just claiming his own tuition.
Yeah, a lot of people just go ahead and do things without talking to somebody like yourself. I get a lot of people because I deal with a lot of older people,
Right.
and they want to put their son or daughter on. They've owned the house for 40 years. They want to put their son and daughter on title, and I say no, don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert. I always try to say, hey, I'm not the one to listen to, except I'm telling you to talk to an expert.
Right.
Because probably they get their base for their capital gains or whatever 40 years ago instead of sometime in the future, and that's a huge difference.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Actually, speaking of capital gains, that's another thing that I do get questioned on. Is you have to talk to an expert for that. because some people miss out on, or they don't know about the exemptions, or they don't know about what things can be done to reduce that exemption amount and not have to pay from that net profit from the gains of the home, because they might sell their home as long as they've been in the home as a primary residence over 2 years. There's an exemption for married couples of $500,000. For single people, it's $250,000. But there's some things like selling expenses, commission, and stuff like that could help reduce that profit. So again, that's something that you need to talk to somebody like myself, to clarify and make sure you don't pay taxes.
Well, somebody that's owned a house, especially in California for a while, that 250,000 or even the 500 may not work.
Right, exactly. So again, that's why they would need to call me. Exactly. So so definitely make sure you, going back to the students, the American Opportunity Tax Credit. This is another thing that I see. I see this mostly because a lot of parents encourage their kids to go to school, and whether it's part-time, full-time, whatever it is. And the thing is that this American Opportunity Tax Credit is the highest credit that they give for college students, but it's only eligible for 4 years. So after 4 years, they can't use it. Then they would have to use the lifetime learning credit, or, and it's not nearly as great. Another thing with this American Opportunity Tax Credit, it's for undergraduates only, not for master's degree or any other thing.
Although that's expensive too, and it should be, but what can I say?
Yeah, but even, what's really cool about that credit is even if somebody's going to a beauty school or a tech job, to be a plumber or whatever it is, they can also use that credit as long as they don't have an undergraduate degree and haven't gone to college before.
You know any experts that can help my beauty?
What? Do I know any?
To help beautify me?
Absolutely.
That's beyond, right?
No, absolutely. I have people that can do facials and, whatever else you need.
Plastic surgery. I'm not sure if that's...
I don't know.
I think that would be deductible if I was a much larger star on this. But, I don't think I'm a big enough video star for that to be tax deductible.
Right,
yeah.
Right. No, you're right. Yeah, that's that's in the making. The other thing I've seen a lot of is people doing Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, DoorDash, or getting 1099s for that. I have seen, what I always ask any new client is to bring me their previous year's tax return. And what I see is sometimes they don't claim the correct type of mileage or supplies, like sometimes they buy snacks, water, but mileage, for whatever reason, I don't know why, they don't claim the correct amount. If you print out, or if they print out the document, the 1099 document, they provide mileage of how much was actually reported. That alone usually almost zeroes out that income.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's one reason. For 2019, the standard mileage rate is 58 cents a mile. So that usually, with the 10,000 miles or 5,000 miles, whatever it is that they, drive, it usually eliminates it. So
now, what ends up being cheaper, having a gas guzzler or driving a Prius?
Yeah,
that's up in the air now, isn't it?
Right, exactly. So that's another thing to make sure, and also keep receipts if you buy supplies. Even those drivers don't know that they could claim their phone, their cell phone, a percentage of their phone, of course.
Right. Now, this year, and you and I talked about this a lot, this year with the new California loan law, these Uber drivers can no longer, and people like that, a lot of people who used to be independent contractors can no longer claim to be an independent contractor, right?
Right.
So a lot of that will change, but you're working on 2019 taxes now,
right?
And that's all of that applies for everybody still.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the AB5 law, I was going to say perhaps maybe on the next show, maybe we could talk about it and expand it, because that's something that's new in California, and a lot of small or LLCs, S Corps, they should know how to determine if somebody's an independent contractor or if they're a W-2 employee. So, and there are some exemptions. There are some people that could still be exempt from that law, but there's a lot more that have to be included. So I think we should expand on it for sure.
Yeah. Because I know it was passed to try to protect certain workers,
Right.
but I'm not sure if it's protecting or hurting more workers overall.
Yeah,
So,
I know because even for example with truckers, they're one that they actually have like a temporary hold or something that they
yeah,
don't
right.
go to that 1099 category, or they can go into the 1099 category because they do have a lot of expenses. So that's still kind of in the air. I don't know
Yeah.
the determination.
I don't think that would really be a big deal if it weren't for the last federal tax law change,
Right.
where if you were a W 2 employee, well, if you're a 1099 employee, you still have your Schedule C. But as a W 2 employee, you used to be able to have employee business expenses,
Right.
and that was taken away. And that has huge effect.
Right. Huge effect. Still to this day, a lot of people, the only thing I've done is with a lot of people that used to claim mileage, meals and entertainment, all these other things
Yeah,
got disqualified altogether, is get the reimbursement from your employer since you're W 2 now.
right,
Employers have a way to track
right.
it. Make sure you get your reimbursement there. And I still encourage people to ask if they qualify to deduct those expenses with the state of California or, other states that allow, actually
Hmm.
all, as long as they have state income tax, they will allow deductions. So they just have to check because there
Yeah,
are
the state is still good on that.
right, right. But there are thresholds and they're pretty high. So they're all, if
Yeah,
you don't meet those thresholds, then you can't deduct
yeah.
those work expenses
But
anyways.
federal taxes are usually a whole lot higher than the state taxes here.
Yes, yes.
Although people complain all the time about California taxes,
Mhm.
I'm not one of them, but I think you get what you pay for. But now, how effective is each dollar spent? I mean, you're always going to have good things and not so good things. But
Right. Oh, exactly. Exactly. So speaking a little bit about that 1099 now, if you're W-2, again, ask your taxpayer like myself if they qualify for deductions. Now, if you're simply 1099, make
hmm
sure, or even a cash business, make sure that there's some sort of record keeping on your expenses, because I've noticed some people get 1099s that are rather large and they have no idea what to deduct or what
right.
was allowed to deduct that year. And
Oh,
they,
you've got to, yeah, because that's
yeah,
gross in. Yeah, you need
yeah,
an adjusted gross income, not gross.
right. Adjusted gross
That's
income, yeah, would still be pretty high. So
yeah,
I would say as long as there's like, whether it's like through Excel spreadsheets or QuickBooks, but find a method to
yeah. Or if on
track.
you're on W two, you just claim what 40 dependents.
No, and then be left with a large tax bill. No, no,
Okay.
I never encourage any W 2 employee to claim exempt ever. I will never say that, because then you're left with a huge tax bill, then underpayment of tax penalties. So I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah,
But yeah, for 1099 cash businesses,
that was kind of a joke. So
yeah, of course, we can't be so serious about taxes.
I can't believe the time's going by so fast. Maybe next time you're on the show, we'll just do the whole hour.
Okay. Oh,
We,
because
we,
it's never ending with taxes, isn't it?
well, and we haven't even gotten into horror movies, right?
No, we didn't. But you know what? I owe you, because next time I'm on the show, we will discuss Parasite. I haven't seen it yet, and I
Uh,
told you I was going to try to see it this week.
well,
So,
remember, the first 2/3 of it is not a horror movie.
okay.
The last third is.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's quite a roller coaster ride. But I can't believe the director of Parasite said one of his favorite movies this year was Midsummer.
No way.
And he also liked
Wow.
the other one that whatever his name, Ari Aster did, which I do too. I think we agreed on the
Which,
inheritance. What is it? Inheritance or you know which one? I mean.
yeah. What was the name of it? Yeah, something like Inheritance, something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That was pretty brilliant in a way, but
yeah, that was pretty good. But I can't believe you said Midsummer.
I can't either. The thing is with that movie, there's nobody to identify with.
Right.
She was, like I said, is she going to be worth it or not? And she turned out to be a pretty horrible person.
Right.
Nothing changed for her at the end. Nothing.
Right.
it
Right.
was like everything was set up to show something change in her at the end, and there was nothing there.
No.
The guy, you didn't particularly like him either.
Right.
So who is? I mean, you got to identify with somebody, right?
Right. Right. At least one good guy, maybe, or some sort of hope in the story. And I don't think that
Right,
story had any hope whatsoever.
right,
But
right.
see,
But so
I gave you a fair warning before you
you
saw
did,
it.
you did. But you know what? When you give somebody a warning like that, it's almost like a dare to watch it, right? And since
And
it was on Amazon for free, my wife couldn't watch very much of it, but I
oh,
did.
okay. Even when you told me you were halfway through the movie, I just said, just don't do it.
Yeah, I know. Good advice. So good advice for midsummer translates to good advice for taxes too.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So how big of a tax load is there in April compared to October?
What is that? April.
Well, as far as I know, taxes are due in October, right?
They're due in April by
I
April.
know, that was a
Oh,
joke too.
oh,
They're due in October, but you can prepay in April. That's the way
right.
I see it.
Exactly. So as
That
long
too
as
was a joke.
pay, exactly. No, you're right. As long as you pay by April 15th, then you're fine with filing until October 15th, as long as you file the extension.
Yeah.
Make sure you file the extension.
Well,
Also,
my CPA just puts in the extension automatically every year. He's got all my signatures because he knows I never pay.
okay.
In
Yeah, there's people on my automatic list that I just,
yeah.
I don't even bother. But yeah,
Well, once you do it once in October, you don't want to pay taxes 6 months. So you're always doing it in October.
right. Exactly. I know that's true.
When I
It's
had that first company, it was like my tax person at the time said, "Well, take first half of the year W-2, the second half 1099, and then you can borrow from the company on paper, of course,
uh-huh,
and just move it into the following year for taxes." Now that saved money the first year,
uh-huh.
but thereafter makes no difference whatsoever. But
Right.
once you got that, you're setting that trap. If you pull off of it, you've got twice the taxes in 1 year. So
Right.
Yes.
Right.
once
No,
you
that's
start,
true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I know. So you didn't tell me, by the way, Jason, since the show's almost over, what are you doing for Valentine's Day?
I'm going to be on the show here today. My wife is working
Uh-huh.
both days this weekend, but we'll do
Oh,
something.
okay, yeah.
We
That-
will do something. I'm
that-
not sure what, but you don't have to plan in advance. Some of the better ones, I remember once when they were on weekends a couple of years ago, we went down to Grand Central Market and had lunch at Wexler's.
mhm.
Supposedly the best corned beef in town, pastrami in town, although I still enjoy Langer sitting there better, but still.
Uh-huh.
And we sat at the little bar there in Grand Central Market, and there were a bunch of other older couples that were also celebrating Valentine's Day.
Oh,
So,
nice. That's nice.
yeah.
I know we're not celebrating it tonight, but tomorrow night. We figured tonight's
Right.
gonna
Well, you're supposed to celebrate it every day, right? You're supposed
right.
to appreciate who you're with
Right.
and enjoy friendship forever.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Yeah, we should appreciate life for every day that we have.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
And I'm hoping I have a few more days of that.
You do. You
But
have still a long road ahead.
oh yeah, another 30, 40 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if you say so, then that helps.
I don't know what.
But any real advice for
Huh?
getting your taxes ready for this year, other than to call you? Any other advice?
No, that's really about it. Just call me with any questions, concerns. Some people don't even have filing requirements. We don't charge for that. If you don't
Yeah.
have to file, you don't have to file. So, but yeah, our phone number is 714-773-4000. Again, 714-773-4000. Our website is www.allianceincometax.com. On the contact us page, they could.
Okay, we got 1 minute. I see a bunch of people are behind you working. So
Yeah,
you got more than one tax return to do, huh?
yes, I do. Yeah, we do. Yeah, I'm working probably till like 6 or 7 tonight. So
But you are taking tomorrow off.
Yes, which is different. It's a, first time ever and during tax season. So.
That's good. I got an appointment, hopefully for a new loan. Well, it is for a new loan tomorrow morning.
Oh, good.
So that I am so busy. It's like people really want to know about this now.
Oh.
And once they know about it, they love it. They love the idea of it. But you got to know about it, It's just like taxes. Well, I think when people learn about reverse mortgages, they love it. When people learn about taxes, they don't necessarily love them. But they do have to be educated on them so they can get the best out of it.
Right, exactly.
And I think it's time to go before they kick us off. So happy Valentine's Day, Laurie. Happy Valentine's Day, Sean. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody listening. Yes. And remember, Kaplan will be here in front of the cigar store next week.
You've been listening to the Educated Retirement Show with Jay Kaplan. Tune in every Friday at 3 p.m. to learn more about your mortgage and reverse mortgages. And don't forget, each show is also podcasted on the KMET website, KMET 1490 AM.